Welcome back to another episode of The Sweet Science of Chocolate, where everything we talk about is chocolate. This is Maya.
And this is Kristie. And hey, before we start, hit the subscribe button below, ring that bell, show us a little bit of love. That way you'll always know what we're doing, when our next episode comes out, and you'll get great tips and tricks, and the recipes are down below. So today, what are we doing?
So, last time we made truffles, this time we are gonna talk about chocolate chip cookies. Maya is gonna show you a couple tricks and tips that she has for making great chocolate chip cookies, and this time I'm gonna assist her.
Finally, I get to do something. No, just kidding. So, with chocolate chip cookies, most people have made chocolate chip cookies before. Sometimes people wonder why they turn out a certain way and why they don't, what chocolate to use, what chocolate not to use. As you see here, these are all the same ingredients. I baked them at the same time, but if you use butter that's softened, or if butters such as, like I let the butter stay out for about an hour so it was room temperature, they're going to end up being flat. Or if you use butter that you either freeze or straight out of the refrigerator, it's gonna come out more in a dome, you know, and get it all like that. Otherwise, if you stick the whole stick in there, obviously that's gonna be an issue.
So right now we're aiming for the puffies.
Yes, because we took it out of the refrigerator.
Okay.
Crack the egg. I'm gonna keep adding more butter. And once you're done with all the butter, add your mixing. Since my hands are all goopy and greasy, Kristie, would you please put that on? All right, so we have our butter and eggs in there, and what I want to incorporate next will be the sugar. Brown sugar and white sugar. Here's another little trick. If you use more white sugar than brown sugar, your cookies will also get flatter. So, because brown sugar has a little bit more moisture in it, so it tends to hold the shape a little bit more. So, you already
Pre-measured
this out. So we're gonna add both of these in here. And then I like to give it a little mix so it mixes in with my eggs and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And you want it to look kind of pasty-like. So we're at the point where we have put in the butter, the eggs, the brown sugar, and the white sugar.
Correct.
I like at this point to add the vanilla, okay? Because the liquid ingredient, this is more liquid, you don't tend to add liquids to dry ingredients. And vanilla, the recipe calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. Some people like to put almond extract instead of vanilla. Gives it a little different taste, or half and half. So we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla and 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And then, for purposes of this video, we're going to not have it blending so you can hear us and what we're saying. What we're gonna do next is gradually introduce the flour into all of the stuff that we put in. What I like to do is I like to have it at about this speed. Too high, you're gonna blow up everything. Let's see, can you do it?
Tap.
There you go. And give it a whirl. When all of that is mixed together, then we're gonna add
Our baking soda.
Oh, our baking soda. We forgot the baking soda.
Soda.
You know why? I forgot it. A lot of times, I like to just make the dough and eat the dough, which is really bad for you, and I don't suggest it since it has raw egg, but then I don't put the baking soda in. So I tend to forget the baking soda.
So we're gonna add a half a teaspoon real quick.
Yes, you definitely want to add a half a teaspoon of baking soda in there. And again, this is why Kristie teaches and not me. Okay.
Okay, so now on to the good part, where we're gonna actually add the chocolate chips.
And chocolate chips. Usually you add about 12 ounces chocolate chips. The bags are, the little bags, the GR Deli bags, or, you know, this size bag, 10 ounce.
Yep.
So 20 ounces is about 2 cups. I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong adding more chocolate chips. If you're gonna add more if you're gonna add anything else though, like walnuts or even white chocolate chips, Kristie's going to add the chocolate chips. All right, and when you're done, should look something like this. Now again, we used really cold butter. If you use warmer butter, or even if you melt the butter, obviously the texture is going to be much different.
Yep.
This one, I like to use colder butter when I'm having the kids do it because it's easier for them to work with.
Yep.
And unfortunately, not unfortunately, I have twins, but unfortunately I only have one of these. And there's always a fight as to who's gonna get it. So this way, if you make it a little thicker, you can add a little bit more flour as well and add it like this. And then they're gonna come out like that. Then the kids can use their hands and they won't fight over the scooper. So these are made with one of these, the same size for both of those. Put it on parchment paper. I put the oven at 375. I baked these for the same amount of time. They ended up in my oven for about 12 minutes. You want to pull the cookies out when they're a little bit brown around the edges, because then they'll continue to keep baking on the sheet. And inside they're still warm, and the chocolate is going to also help keep them, you know, cooking a little bit. So you don't want to take them out too late. You can always put them back in if you think it's not done. Eating burnt chocolate chip cookies doesn't taste good. So once you have them on the sheet, throw them in the oven. And usually what I like to do is I let them cool a little bit on the pan. Then I transfer them over to a cooling rack. And then usually I don't even need to transfer them into any sort of container, because by the time I come back,
the kids and the husband.
And one time the dog ate the chocolate chip cookies. But you know, this is just your basic chocolate chip cookie recipe. You can add raisins to it. You can add craisins. You can even add peanut butter. If you're gonna do peanut butter, you wanna do less butter, the regular butter, depending on how much peanut butter you want in there. A lot of times, especially when it's really, really humid in the summer, I tend to put in a little bit of oatmeal, because that also, then you won't have to use so much flour. You can substitute it with oatmeal, and you'll get, you know, cookies that aren't going to be like super huge and thin, and they won't taste like flour, you know.
Right.
Again, it depends. We live in Wisconsin, where we have 4 distinct seasons, so you have to kind of cook accordingly, where other people might, you know, if you're out in the desert, you know, area,
right,
you might not have those issues. So, yeah. What are we going to do next time? We haven't thought about it yet.
We haven't thought about it. But I am tempted to, we did this chocolate chip cookie recipe. How about I introduce mine? Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Sweet Science of Chocolate, where we talk about all things chocolate. All of these recipes are available on our website and our blog, so don't forget to look them up. And our website and blog is called The Sweet Science of Chocolate.
All of our information is down below in the comment section. We also posted the recipes that we use. Follow us, please. We are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we have a blog, The Sweet Science of Chocolate, where we have all of this information. If you're inspired to do something like this, or if you have great alternatives, Kristie likes to do a lot of vegan, gluten-free stuff. Please let us know. We can adapt the recipes, and or if you just want to see how your recipe will turn out, we will give it a go and give you a shout out, because we love looking at new recipes and talking about recipes. And we're probably the only two people. We met at the gym, and we both lift weights quite a bit. And as we're lifting weights in between our sets, we're talking chocolate and baking, which is kind of like taboo. But this is why we enjoy doing this. And so a lot of times we like to make things that are a little bit healthier, especially for our friends that are in competition season, and also for us because we like to track our macros. And we also like to hide stuff
Absolutely.
in our baking, so our kids don't know it's really healthy for them. So let us know what you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, hit the subscribe button, please. Show us a little love.
And remember,
have a cookie. Which one are you gonna?
I like the puffy.
Okay.
And remember, everything tastes better with chocolate. Yes. I like the puffy.
Try it.
I want to see what it looks like inside.
There's a lot of it.
These are like yummy.
This is your classic recipe.
Yeah.
These will not last long.